Hey guys, what's going on? Trav here, back with another video. Today we have a little bit of a different video from the content that I've been putting out, but also a potential new series that I think I really like the idea of and would love to hear feedback on. So I like to use Twitter. One of the guys that I follow is Stephen A. Smith, and every day he puts out a tweet, or pretty much every day he puts out a tweet, asking for good questions for his show. And over the last hour or so, I collected about 6 or so tweets that I'd like to answer that I found interesting while going through. And yeah, that's just what's going to be today's video. So for our first question we're going to go over here. It's from Divided Hero. This is the question right here. He asks to rate his cousin's mac and cheese. I'm gonna give that a solid 0 out of 10, considering that as you can see, the cheese is not even melted. It looks like string cheese that you get out of just like a bag. So very low effort. I think he could have done better, but again, I'm not a huge mac and cheese guy, but that looks like some low effort mac and cheese. Also, real quick, shout out to the Phillies. Hopefully I don't get copyright claimed, but today is the 15th of August. They won their game yesterday and they're currently winning 4-0, so I don't know, they might be back. Also, it's the 15th of August, not the 14th. My apologies. But yeah, going back to that mac and cheese, definitely a 1 or 0 out of 10. I think they could have done a lot better. It seemed very low effort and almost like they're not even trying. So that was our first question. Our second question, a little bit of a more serious question. We're going to go over here. The question is from Killa. He says, what were the best and worst sports in the Olympics, excluding basketball and breakdancing? All right, so a little bit of a hot take. Didn't think basketball was the best sport in the Olympics. My personal favorite sport in the Olympics to watch was handball and also water polo, but handball was the main sport that I was most excited to watch and most interested in watching. I learned that the U.S. has never medaled in handball, so I don't think that I can personally change that, but at some point over the next next 10 to 20 years, I'd love to see the U.S. with a medal or at least a team to compete, because I don't even believe they sent a team to play handball this year. I could be wrong about that. I'd have to look into that, but as far as I know, we didn't even send any teams, which is kind of disappointing because we have so many athletes and I think that we could put together a really good team and compete pretty well in it. I really enjoyed playing handball growing up, so to watch it at a professional level and see people who actually know what they're doing was super cool, and I really enjoyed that. As to my least favorite sport, I think sailing. I'm just not a big sailing guy personally. It was pretty cool, but it was just super long and boring. I guess also you could throw in the super long biking events as well as like the marathon. Like, it's not really a good sport to watch. I'm sure it's a cool sport to be there while it's going on. I guess you can't even really view it that well since people are just coming in and out at like small points in time. But I would say those were probably the two worst sports to watch, or I guess 3 worst sports to watch. Sailing, running, like marathon wise, and biking. Don't get me wrong, track and field was super cool. So I'm not including that in the running or like the sprinting and stuff. The sprinting is not included, just like the marathon and the super long 20 plus minute events or hour long events and stuff like that. So yeah, that was the second question. We're going over to the third question. It's by Wiss, and they ask, do you think the acronym GOAT has lost its meaning? Obviously GOAT means greatest of all time, and I would agree with Wiss here, or I don't know if he is arguing that it has lost its meaning, but I would say it has definitely lost its meaning. Anything and everything is called the GOAT. So, like, it used to be greatest of all time. Now it's just one of something or other. Like, one of the greatest of all time. It's just thrown around too much. I think if it wasn't thrown around as much and, like, was more specifically, like, used for specific people. Like, for example, LeBron James, GOAT of basketball. But also I guess that's even throwing it around, because you can name like 5 or 6 different athletes that are the GOAT of their sport and whatnot. So I think that it has lost its meaning, as well as people just use it for, oh, that's like, if they like something, oh, that's so goated, or oh, you're the goat at doing so and so. I think it doesn't have a like special meaning anymore or very strong value as goat. I think there should be a better word, but I don't really know what that other word would be. But yeah, that is question number 3. Number 4, this is a really good question, and I saw it, and I'm super excited. Steven says, you have 4 pairs of shoes to wear between 4 games: loafers, sandals, wingtips, and sneakers. And which of the 4 are you wearing to the 4 major sports, and why? I'm interpreting this as you have to play in them. I know, or I'm assuming that's not actually the question, and it's just you have to wear them to the games to like visit, or not visit, but to like spectate. So I'll do both. So to start with, what I would wear to play in the games. To start, I would say, okay, so we have MLB, NBA, NFL, geez, I can't read, and NHL. NHL is going to be the trickiest one because obviously it's ice, but I think that I would probably get the most traction with sneakers at the NHL or on the ice. So I'm going to go NHL sneakers to play in, and yeah, I think just to play in. We'll start with just playing. For the MLB, it's kind of not a ton of running around unless you get a hit or you're in the outfield or you're fielding. So honestly, I'd probably wear not sneakers. I'd probably wear sandals to play in an MLB game, to play baseball. Next we have NBA. NBA is a lot of running, and same with NFL. Probably I'd go loafers for NBA to play in and wingtips for NFL to play in. I feel like NFL, I don't know. Loafers are... Sorry, I'm going to retract that statement. I'm going to go with wingtips to play in NBA and loafers to play in the NFL. Mainly because I think in the NBA there's a lot more cutting back and forth, stopping on a dime. You need the traction, and you probably won't have great traction with wingtips, but at least they'll be tied, so they'll be tight to your feet, and you're less likely to injure yourself and whatnot. But unfortunately, I don't know if that's a great answer. All right, but if I had to go to the games and wear them, this is a super easy one. I'd wear sandals to the MLB game. I would wear sneakers to the NFL game. I'd wear the loafers to the NBA and the wingtips to an NHL game. I don't really have great reasonings besides MLB game obviously is getting sandals because we're outside and it's warm. All the other games, or at least, sorry, the NFL game is during the winter, so it'll be cold, so I wouldn't want to wear sandals then, as well as NBA games and NHL games are inside, and from what I've experienced, those arenas are generally pretty cold. Why I'd wear those other shoes to the other sports, I don't really have a good reason. I just picked randomly, to be completely honest with you. But yeah, that is that question. That's question number 4. For our 5th question, we go over to Travarius Jefferson. Sorry, I can't read. Would you rather be the 10th to 12th man on an NBA roster and get 5 to 9 minutes in a game, or be the best, the current best soccer player in all of Europe? I think this is a super easy question. I'm gonna go with best soccer player in Europe. That would put me at like the likes of like a Messi or Ronaldo, or I guess Mbappe is a better example. They are basically idolized and known worldwide and super famous and super rich. So I definitely would rather be that than just a random 10 or 12th man on an NBA roster. Like, no one knows who I am. And the fact that I'm even getting 5 to 9 minutes as a 10 or 12th man, I don't believe that, because I feel like MLB, or sorry, not MLB, I feel like NBA rosters don't generally run that deep unless, well, they definitely don't run it in the playoffs, at least the Sixers and whatnot. But yeah, I would definitely say I would rather be the best soccer player in all of Europe, who makes, at that point, I'm making tons of money. I have tons of fans. Although I guess, to be fair, if you don't like fame and you don't like the attention, you're still getting paid pretty well to be the 10th or 12th best. You're making a couple mil a year. as the 10th or 12th best man on an NBA roster. And you get to live in America compared to being constantly swamped by fame and fortune, or by fame, paparazzi, and stuff in Europe. So that's actually a really good question. I think still I would go with best soccer player in all of Europe, because so going back to the other question, to be called a GOAT in the sport would be pretty cool, even though that word is very overused. Our last question. This is also a super good question. I really like this one. It comes from Alex. He says, if the men's U.S. basketball team was a football team, who are you putting for your quarterback, running back, 2 receivers, and 2 tight ends? So this is a super good one. I think my quarterback is going to be Curry. I think that's an easy answer. He's good at mid-range or deep shots. Not mid-range. Well, he's good at mid-range too, but he's good at deep shots, so I'm sure he can throw a football pretty well. The obvious answer for one of the tight ends is going to be LeBron. He's just built like a tight end. I'm sure if he wanted to, he could go to the NFL and be a pretty successful tight end. So we have our quarterback. We have one of our tight ends. I'm going to put Joel Embiid as a wide receiver just because he's super tall. I know he is pretty fragile and injury prone, but I'm assuming that this is again, it's a hypothetical question. So I'm going to go with hypothetically he doesn't get hurt the first time he gets tackled. Our running back, who do we want as our running back? Our running back, I'd probably put Anthony Edwards. I feel like he'd be a scrappy little running back, get through the hole. He's pretty elusive, evasive kind of guy. And then we need one more tight end, which I would put our other tight end, Jason Tatum, for sure. He's definitely being a tight end. I feel like he's kind of built like LeBron. He's big. I feel like he's probably pretty good at blocking because he has size and whatnot. And he can probably also catch and elevate over people if the receiving was needed out of him. So we have one more player. I feel like I'm missing someone super obvious here. Oh, Kevin Durant as our other wide receiver. I can't believe I forgot that he was on the team for so long. That is the most easiest choice. Obviously, he's 7'1", 7'2", over 7 foot, so he's huge. He's fast. He is kind of old, but again, hypothetical. The injury, I'm hypothetically thinking that he doesn't get hurt when he gets tackled. But still, all Curry has to do as the quarterback is throw it up pretty high. His vertical is probably higher than any NFL cornerback in the league, or safety, or whoever's covering him. So you just loft that up to him. He's basically like Megatron. But yeah, so just to recap that, we have Curry as quarterback. We have Anthony Edwards as running back. We have Joel Embiid and Kevin Durant as our wide receivers. And then we have LeBron James and Jason Tatum as our tight ends. And that's also the last question that I have. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video and liked this idea. I'm going to try and do this more often. I really enjoyed going through these and questions, and I'm sure this video is a little bit scuffed and I'll get better as it goes. Still learning the whole vlogging thing and trying to figure that out, but I hope I hope that you enjoyed this video. Again, if you have any video ideas, I would love a comment below on what I should do for videos. I was gonna do a day in the life this Saturday. I'm not entirely sure if that will happen because it's supposed to rain, but we'll see what the weather conditions are like. It's kind of hard to do a day in the life when you don't really do anything because it's bad weather outside, but yeah. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. Leave a comment of any ideas that you have for future videos, or any feedback that you have. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Peace.